I'm going to break down how I made $7,700 last month with a personal brand on YouTube. I'm going to be breaking it down into 6 simple steps so you can start doing the same exact thing. Because if I knew these things when I was first getting started, I would be exponentially more successful than I am today. So these are the things I wish I knew when I was first getting started that would have allowed me to make this sort of money way sooner. For 6 months when I first started, I was not making any money on YouTube, making all the mistakes in the book. And after making these changes, I started to make money literally the next month. So let's dive into the first one, which is that you need to sell a transformation. There needs to be a clear-cut transformation that people are going to make when they consume your content. They need to get hooked into it the way that, you get hooked into a TV show. You want to be seeing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You need to get people to binge watch your content. This is where you build loyal audiences, people who genuinely like and trust you and want to do business with you. So you have to stick to one niche, one transformation, and that should be all your content that it revolves around, is that one niche and one transformation. I'll give you my main channel example. So on my main channel, I sell the transformation of going from a shy, insecure kid to a confident, outgoing man who can get success with girls. That's the big transformation. So it's technically like a dating masculinity channel, but really that's the transformation that's being sold, is developing social skills, developing your mindset to succeed socially, being able to interact with girls, all the little things around that. There's so much content that can go into this, but it's everything around that transformation. The content can be a little broad. For example, I mentioned it is really the outcome that I sell is succeeding with girls, but it's that transformation that is baked into every single one of the videos. And I talk about fitness, I talk about girls, I talk about a lot of different things. There's so many things that you can cover within the niche and within the transformation, but everything has to lead to that end outcome. It has to have some correlation somehow, some way. I couldn't come on to the channel and talk about knitting because everyone would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But if there's someone out there who has insane knitting skills and they have a YouTube channel around teaching people how to knit, then that's their thing, it's not mine. But that's the first step, is you need to be niched. You need to have a specific transformation that you sell, and that's what all your content has to revolve around. When I made that change, that is when my YouTube channel started to get more return viewers, meaning people were coming back for more and more. They were starting to binge watch the content, like I mentioned, and that's when I started to grow. And finally, the YouTube algorithm learned my content and it pushed it out, and eventually I got a viral video and then a second one, and good things come from that. So that's the first step, is you need to get attention to who you are and what you can help people achieve. Now, the second thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to give away a free lead magnet in your videos. So every single one of my videos has something that I give away. I have a confidence transformation guide, an aesthetic body guide, I have communication guide, a conversation guide, so many different guides, and it should be very aligned to that video. And if it's not exactly aligned, then you have to sell it. So how this video has a bunch of points that I have in terms of like bullet points, I have 6 bullet points. One of the points has to really tie in to what it is that you are selling. So for example, if I have a video talking about fitness and I just built the value of having a great physique, then I plug my aesthetic body transformation guide, because now people are emotional. They want that guide. They want, oh, you know what? I really want that sick physique. Let me grab his guide. And here's the next thing, is you are going to be grabbing phone numbers and emails. The most important one is going to be phone numbers. And this takes us to the third point. But before we go into that, if you want to grab my YouTube strategy board that allows you to organize everything from ideas, titles, thumbnails, making an intro, knowing where to put your CTA, making sure you have it in the video, all this is all organized and laid out in my YouTube strategy board. This is how I've had organizational success on YouTube, and I'm giving it to every single one of you for free. That's the first link in the description below. Now back to the third point. What are you gonna do with these phone numbers? These phone numbers are extremely valuable because they allow you to reach out to your audience, the ones who like you enough to grab your guide at least. You're not going to have everyone be your biggest fan. There's some people who aren't nice, but I would say 90% of these people are going to be extremely warm leads. They're going to be like, oh my God, he's calling me, right? They're going to be like, Seb, it's Seb, no way, right? I get that all the time when I would do my phone setting. So you're going to reach out to your audience and you're going to speak to them and you're going to ask them why do they want to grab the guide, what are their pain points, right, related to that niche that you're selling. So for me, it's like, how is your dating life going? And if they're saying things aren't going good, I don't have a dating life, then I'm like, well, bro, why don't we hop on a quick Zoom call where we can dive into your situation, see how you can improve, and I'll identify all the things that you need to do to get to your dream dating life. And then boom, I just sold the sales call instead of relying on other people or all the audience to book in those calls themselves. I am getting the ball rolling when I had otherwise nothing. That's where the power of phone setting. Phone setting is what genuinely changed my life and started to allow me to make this money. It wouldn't have happened for me if I didn't have this. I would have only probably made in the last 4 or 5 months like $5,000 instead of 30. You know, it's a big difference in terms of how much money you're going to make when you can get all these leads, get on the phone with them, and convince people to take calls with you. So it's extremely important that you do this. And once you have enough volume coming in, you can delegate this to a phone setter, as I'm working on doing now. It has taken a hit on my business, giving my tasks to other people. No one's as good as me. It's how it always is going to be. But you do need to eventually delegate certain tasks, and you can do this in many regards with your business. With personal branding and having a coaching business, you will eventually have someone doing those sales calls. So you're going to have to do the Zoom calls. You're just going to do client calls. There's so many things that you can do to scale and delegate tasks, and your workload gets less and less as you grow and get bigger. But that's not what this video is about. Just wanted to mention that you can delegate the tasks. Now, the next thing is, what do you actually do on these sales calls that is going to allow you to make sales in the most efficient way possible? So this is number 4. On the sales calls, what you're going to do is you're going to discover and pinpoint all of their pain points. So you're going to be someone who you need to be able to read people. You need to be able to understand people largely from little pieces of information they give you. So you have to be good at sales. You got to know people. This is kind of key. So for me, when I'm on these calls helping guys with dating, I'm listening to the little things that they say, their mindset, how they speak about themselves. And it's clear as day a lot of the time. It's like mindset issues, limiting beliefs, confidence issues, communication issues. And I can label all of their issues better than they can understand it themselves. So when someone comes to me and I have just described their situation to them in a way that they have never been able to articulate it, that is how you get sales. So you're not giving them the solution. So you have to hold frame. This is really important. You need to hold frame. Someone's going to come to you, and I'll tell you, this happens all the time. So I'll have some guys come onto the call and they're like, bro, it's so great to meet you. Basically, I have this unique situation where, and they tell me some silly ass story. And then I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing, bro. That is not the purpose of this call. The purpose of this call is to dive into your situation at large, not one individual thing, and figure out all the areas you need to work on so that you can have abundance with your dating life and not have to worry about this one little situation. And you can be nice and charming about it, but you also have to hold your frame so that you're not wasting your time giving people advice. And that kind of leads us to the 5th point. It's kind of a segue. 4 and 5 are kind of tied together. So the thing is, you don't want to be giving away all the advice. It's like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Why would they pay you? So you're just identifying all the issues. So at the end of the call, they're like, fuck, I have all these issues. I need to get help with these. It's clear as day, like we just mentioned, how you identified it. You said it to them in a way they never heard it before. And now they're like, fuck, I have all these issues. And that's when you present your coaching program as the solution to their problems. This is key, is that you're going to be here now like, okay, well, bro, basically, this is what we did for the call. This is the whole purpose of it. We have XYZ discovered. This is what you need to work on. Do you want to tackle these yourself? Or would you be open to hearing about how I can help you absolutely conquer and smash all of these issues? And then they're going to be open to it. They're usually friendly and going to say, oh, yeah, let me hear about it. And that's where the sales really comes in. Obviously, this early part is sales. It's all about setting it up. But now is when you sell it. Because some people are just going to be like, yeah, let's do it. Others are going to be very hesitant. They're nervous, all these things. If you've ever been in sales, you know how it goes. But you're really going to present your coaching program as the offer to their solution. You're going to build the value in it. This is the only time you really mention your product. You shouldn't be talking about your product on the sales calls until there's already value built in how you can help them. Now you present it. It should only take about 2 minutes. At most. Honestly, it can take like 30 to 60 seconds. And then you are going to say, that's it, right? You're going to be like, and that's the coaching program. Do you feel like this would genuinely benefit your life? And every single time they're going to say yes. If they say no, then there's no sale. So they're going to say yes. And then now you're either just going to say, okay, awesome, bro, let's run it up. This is the price. You tell them the price. They either agree, or now really you got to start going into the sales. You got to overcome objections. And there's so many times when I've made tons and tons of money because I overcame objections. If I was just a very basic salesman and I was just like, oh, well, he said no, I wouldn't make, once again, all this money. So you got to be good at sales. It's kind of a little caveat here. And the last thing is, you're going to sell this for a lot of money. My coaching program, I genuinely feel, is cheap compared to some others, and especially the value that I provide, but I'm just getting started. So it's $2,500 for me. That's my coaching program. I'll break it down in terms of what I offer so you can get some ideas. It is a 3-month program where I have one initial 1-hour call where we build the roadmap, give them all the action steps, mindset shifts, new knowledge that they need. Keep in mind, this is a dating coaching program for me. And then there's 2 weekly group meetings. So they're 1 to 2 hours long, and they can come to those for the course of 3 months to, really get this transformation sold. There's a VIP course with like 5 hours of video education. They get community support, stuff like that, and all my resources and guides all clearly laid out for them. But that's pretty much the highlight of it. That's almost how I pitch it, just I sell it more. But that's it, right? That's what it is. That's my coaching program. And you are going to sell this for a lot of money. Depending on the niche that you're in, it is going to vary. For example, something like a make money offer. I have a friend who's doing high ticket sales. We've actually met up. I've done some networking, and he's a really cool guy. He sells his for $5K. So his program's $5K because it's a make money offer. It's related to sales. So depending on the niche that you're in will influence how much you can charge, but you need to charge minimum thousands of dollars. Where it falls in the spectrum, if you have varying offers, so for example, say someone absolutely cannot do 2,500, but they can do 1,000, I just change the time frame. That's all you do. So you should be like, okay, well, bro, basically 2,500 is 3 months. It's about 1,000 a month each. You get a discount for going for 3 months, but you can do a month for 1,000. Sound fair? They're always going to say yes if that's what they want to do. And then you charge $1,000. It's very simple. So this is the ultimate offer. One last thing. I know this might be a little bit of a rant, but personal branding is absolutely elite. There is nothing that compares to personal branding. If you want to make money in this life, if you want to be financially free, I'm currently in a Scandinavian city. I just showed up. I'm making money all the time. I've been traveling Scandinavia the last 5 months whilst making tons of money, barely working, 3 hours a day at most. It's absolutely insane. When I discovered the power of high ticket sales and personal branding, my life changed for good. It happened about a year ago with a different business. I was doing high ticket sales, and then I started personal branding because I quickly saw how powerful it would be to mix the two. And once I started making these high ticket sales 5-6 months ago, making a bunch of money, my life has never been the same. It's just revolutionized my life. My mindset is just astronomically different, and to how I view the world, how I view money, how I view making money. Everything's changed once I built a personal brand. This is genuinely the highest leverage work that you can do. There's nothing higher leverage than putting out digital assets that will continue to pay you for years and years and years and years. So my videos aren't going to disappear. They're going to be on YouTube continuing to get views for life. And then they're going to be giving me my lead magnets, my phone setter is going to be calling them. I'm going to be getting sales. It's just going to keep generating money for my entire life. This is the most powerful thing that you can do. This is what you should be investing your time into. If you have half a brain and you watch this video and you understand how genuinely simple it is to succeed with personal branding, you will just start posting videos every single day. You don't need to be perfect. I didn't have success for the first 6 months. You don't need to get this overnight. This is a long-term play. I came into this with the mindset that I'm going to post every single day on YouTube. I don't care how long it takes. If it's years and years and years, that's what it is. That's when I'll be financially free. For me, it happened after about 8 months. That's when I started to make money and live financially free. It took me about 8 months to get here. It's a long-term play. It's not going to happen overnight. I see some people, they come out the gate, really good content, really good videos, thumbnails, titles, and they can have success right out the gate, and they can have good success within months. But that's not for everyone. Sometimes it takes a while. It depends, right? So really, in the end of the day, just come to this with a long-term mindset. You will succeed. You will make so much money. Personal branding is the cheat code to life right now in 2025. There's nothing better in life than to have a personal brand. So once again, if you want the YouTube strategy board to help you with starting this business and succeeding, that's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below.